I've seen a lot of character runs on Skyrim, and I really wanted to give it a try of my own, but I had to think of a character that would be fun to play. So I ended up, being a kid from the 90s, I ended up picking a character from Avatar: The Last Airbender. What I wanted to know is if I could beat Skyrim as Katara, the waterbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, some people might be wondering what playing as Katara entails. Well, I would say there's no heavy armor, and the only form of offense that you could use would be spells that revolve around ice, like Frostbite, Ice Spike, Icy Storm once I learn it. I know it's not quite waterbending, but in the show, they freeze the water a lot, and they actually do use the ice spikes to like pin people down, and we're just going to use it a little more directly. So I start out and I decide a Nord is probably the best option to go with because of their resistance to cold, and I would think that somebody from the Southern Water Tribe would have a natural cold resistance. As far as what I'm allowed to wear for clothing, we're gonna get into that. I'll pick up some clothing and wear it, but primarily I'm gonna do magician robes, and then I can wear like fur gauntlets, fur boots, fur shoes on my feet. I also will have several goals during this playthrough. I want to complete the College of Winterhold's quest because I would think it's like mastering waterbending, kind of. I also want to do the Civil War because, we want to defeat the Fire Nation, and then also the main quest. So we start out here. I decide to go with Rayloff, and even though I can't do any combat as of right now, I'll kind of just let him take care of it. I'll go through and just kind of bob and weave around until the time comes. And I know I won't have any footage of it. It unfortunately got corrupted, but shortly after we leave Helgen, I managed to find a small bandit camp that contains frostbite, and so I at least have some offense. And then I also decided that healing would be okay because healing is something that she does in the show with her water as well. Here we get to the portion where we find our first set of clothing. We can use the apprentice robes, which will regenerate our magicka more quickly, which will come in handy when we do get the ability to attack. So you'll see we can put on the fur gauntlets, fur boots, and the robes. Then we go to the mine that everybody goes to just to see how our offense is. It's not horrible as of right now, but we're facing pretty low-level enemies. After that, we're going to make our way to Bleak Falls Barrow, and we're going to get the Dragonstone just so we can progress the main quest a little quicker. The bandits outside of the Bleak Falls aren't that bad, but for some reason I did decide to fight this bandit outlaw. I didn't really have the magic reserves to, but I just did this, took advantage of the poor AI and ran up on a ledge where he couldn't reach me and then used the trap as well. Then I have to solve this simple puzzle. Bam, bam, boom. Go through the door. And we continue our way till we get to the giant spider. Now, the giant spider fight, I kind of did the same thing, which was use frostbite, back away to the door, which he can't get out of, and then proceed to blast him. After this, we get down Arvel, but we know his tricks, so we're just gonna go ahead and freeze him right away. Pick up the golden claw and continue our way through. And the thing about the frostbite is it's not super great against the undead, such as vampires, Draugr, and we'll find out later that it actually does no damage to like metal structures like the dwarven spiders and such. So a lot of this dungeon is just using the traps to our advantage. Running back. I've seen it enough times where we can run back, get them to hurt themselves, and we just do a little damage. Now this is versus the Draugr Overlord, and he has quite a bit more health. This is sped up by quite a lot. So basically we just round this center pillar and just keep using him, let our magic regrow, using frostbite. But finally, after a while, we do manage to take him down. We'll go over to his body and pick up the dragon stone. Now, we go drop off the dragon stone, and then we have to deal with our first dragon fight. The first dragon fight really isn't that bad. We don't do great damage, but we also have the NPCs, Whiterun guards and Irileth and such helping us out. Plus, we learned Ice Spike, or we bought a spellbook from the wizard for Ice Spike, and we don't do horrible damage. So a lot of this is just going to be us running around. Then you see us use our healing there. And now we just wait for our magic to regrow, and then we can do some more damage, and then we wait. One thing that is probably necessary that I don't have a lot of footage of is basically all the extra money I come across in this run is used to get enchanting up to a higher level and also buy destruction spells, just so we can cast our magic longer and do a little more damage. So we'll pick up the dragon scales and bones, which we'll sell just to get money. We absorb the dragon soul, and for some reason I decided that was when we wanted to go join the College of Winterhold. So we have to perform a healing hands on Feralda to let us in, which she does. Then we attend our first lecture, and they make us cast a ward. So we fail the run as of right now, but we're going to continue with it anyways. Our first objective is we go to Sarthal, and we have to do some investigating. But of course, because it's Skyrim, we're going to run into some enemies, some Draugr, and eventually we're going to find our way to the Eye of Magnus. But we'll find our way to the Eye of Magnus. We have to let Tolfdir damage it, or overload the eye, and then we can damage Jirik. But a lot of it's the same. We just run around and let him do... Oh, I did forget to mention. I did the quest to pick up Sokka from Riverwood. But it's not too much to worry about, because he does end up kicking the bucket here after not too long. But we take care of Jirik, and then Tolfdir says we need to go let the Archmage know about this magical artifact. So we go and do that. The Archmage tells us to go talk to the librarian, who in the meantime tells us to go find some lost books.
I don't want to see you.
Unfortunately, when we have to go find the lost books, we're going to be fighting mages. And the first go-around, it doesn't go too well for us. There was a flame Antronach and the fire mage who kind of melted us. But eventually, we get the better of them. And then instead of taking care of the flame Antronach, we just decide we're going to run inside and avoid it. But inside, I think this is Felglow Keep? Yeah. Inside of Felglow Keep, it's all mages. Some are apprentice, some are adept, but it's all kinds. Fire, ice, storm, and necromancers, I believe. But you make your way through. Just work your way through the tower, and eventually you'll get to the caller who has the books. And this lady's a little higher level mage than us, so she kind of whoops our butt. Because automatically when you attack her, a flame Antronach summons. And she also can... I don't know if it's coded this way, but she has variations. She can either use fire magic, or lightning magic, or ice magic. And you never know what you're going to get. Here, I try to take the books and just run. But I forgot that the door was locked. So, kind of led to our downfall. And it was just kind of unlucky. If she spun lightning to use, or chose to use it, I guess, then it did not go well for us, because she was draining our magic at a much higher rate than we recovered. But we just keep at it, keep going, using Frostbite, using Ice Spike, and eventually we do take care of her. Then we will pick up the three books. We are then informed we have to meet with the Augur of Dunlane, which has the longest unskippable dialogue, basically. He tells us to find I can't remember if he tells us to find the focusing chamber, but we're going to find a focusing chamber that will let us know where to find the Eye of Magnus. Yeah, and this is where we find out that dwarven spiders and workers cannot be hurt by frost. So we just decided to be heroic and run away. But this did lead to sort of a jump scare. I went through the door, did not know that the dwarven sphere could go through the door, and he just ended us there. But regardless, on our next go round, we do end up making it further into the dungeon where we find a little more squishy targets, and we could actually do some damage to them. Then we find Paratus, who has us use the focusing lens, at which point we have to fail the run again, because we have to use fire to focus it. Well, fire and ice. We'll just say that Zuko stepped in to help us. Paratus tells us where to find the Staff of Magnus, and then we are going to go back to tell the Archmage about it, but we decide that Paratus is kind of a dick, so we're just going to get rid of him. So, mage fight! We go back to the college, and Ancano, a high elf, is kind of causing some trouble, overloading the eye. He ends up killing the Archmage here, and puts the town of Winterhold in danger. So we're told to go down and get rid of these magic anomalies to help out the town. They're not too bad, they just don't take a lot of magic damage, and they tend to do a lot more damage, but we also have help in this fight. So we kind of just stand back, use our frost when we can, and we're told to go to Labyrinthian. In Labyrinthian, we have to fight spirits, ghosts, all while getting our magic drained. But our old strategy of jump around and wait just kind of works sometimes. Here you can see that we're trying to do damage to the spirit, but we can't. So we call on our friend Zuko to melt the door again. And I did try in this room to blast these enthralled wizards with frost. It doesn't work. So we end up using our hands. Again, I don't know that... technically, the bending styles are all based off of martial arts, so I don't see how that's incorrect. But we end up beating him down with our fists. And now we have to fight Maroki. And this fight went on for a long time. I don't know if something happened to it. But at one point we hid from him to become undetected. And then when we found him again, he just did not attack us. I don't know if it's just bad AI or if we did something. But yeah, he just sat here and would not attack. So I just said, okay, well, we'll just keep blasting him with frost. So, see, as every time we get just a sliver of magic, we dual cast Frostbite. We end up taking care of him, getting the Staff of Magnus, and I've already failed the run multiple times, but we're going to fail again here because you have to use the Staff of Magnus to overload the eye so you can hurt Ancano. But we're going to say that since we already failed it multiple times, we're just going to continue on. We're going to use frost for the most part, ice spells for the most part, but when we have to use something else, we're going to, because we'll have to use certain shouts and such later on to get through the level. But yeah, we'll just keep doing the same. We'll overload the eye, and then we'll just blast Ancano until we eventually... Oh, leveled up there. Oh, I should also mention that I'm under the sign of the mage to level up destruction faster, but I don't have footage of it because that's also a part of the portion that got corrupted. So we beat Ancano, beat the magic anomaly that's left in the room, and then we just decided we're gonna throw his ass in the drink. Just leave him sit. And now we are the Archmage of the college. After this, I decided I wanted to do the Civil War quest. We figured we would join the Nords, or the, what are they called? The Stormcloaks, because those are the true Nords. You know, that'd be the Water Tribe, and then the Imperials would be the Fire Nation. But I can't beat an ice wraith with ice magic, so I just hire somebody real quick, failing to run again. But we take care of it, I dismiss her, and then we take our oath to join the Stormcloaks. First thing we have to do is we have to go get the Jagged Crown from Karthwasten, I think. In between this, we had bought an Icy Storm, and it's a much more powerful spell. We'd also enchanted equipment to let us basically cast for a much lower cost. Everything from this point gets not super hard. Icy Storm does quite a bit of damage, even if they have resistance. We don't end up getting the final shot on the Death Lord because Galmar does, but that's okay. We were out of magic anyways, so we're just going to let it happen. And bam! Got him. So we grab the crown, we're going to give it to Ulfric. Next, we have to deal with the invasion of Whiterun. We offer peace, and they tell us no, so now we have to assault Whiterun. And you'll see now that I'm wearing fine clothes, I feel like this went better with the whole aesthetic. But our enchanting is at a pretty decent level, so we're basically all the enchantments we put on our armor were to lower cost for casting destruction magic. So I think we're wearing a ring, a necklace, and clothes that lower our costs. We basically cast for 80% less than we would have to. We make our way through, and I didn't realize this, but the court wizard, did quite a bit of damage to us there. Thankfully, he's kind of a glass cannon, so we end up taking care of Balgriff and Irilith, and letting the Stormcloaks take over Whiterun, basically. And then we're just going to continue with the Civil War quest. Most people know how this goes. We assault the forts, we free some prisoners, and you basically do the same thing every time you report to a new camp. Here we are in one of the forts. As you can see, most people now, even with Frostbite, because we're dual casting, and we've gotten, I think, one perk of Augmented Frost, so we do 25% more damage. We are doing quite well now. Here we free the prisoners. Then we have to prove that the Jarl of Marthal is still a Talos supporter. We find his engraved necklace, and we show it to him. He tells us he doesn't want this to come out, so he lets us know of an Imperial steel shipment. So we go there, and I'm just gonna let this play out. So when you dual cast Icy Storm, it just takes care of all these low-level enemies. You don't really have anything to worry about. So we just do that. Then we get our next quest, which is, well, after we assaulted another fort, we get the quest to free Solitude. I basically just run inside Solitude and just run inside the castle, start blasting immediately when I go in there. For some reason, General Tullius here kind of messed up. I couldn't beat him here, but when Ulfric got done with his speech, I told him he could take care of him, but he just wouldn't do it. So eventually, I have to blast him one more time, and then he does end up passing. Yeah, I don't know what was going on here. I was just waiting for them to do their talking. It must have been because we assaulted him like faster than the game intended, or something along those lines. Oh yeah, here we go. So we say the honor belongs to you. I believe. Yeah, the honor belongs to you. And then he just wouldn't. He just wouldn't attack him. So, sat here waiting, tried to talk to him. He wouldn't do anything. So, eventually I just blast him again. Give him one quick shot, and then he's gone. And we are now conquered the Fire Nation. So, now we're going to do the main quest. We're going to make our way up to High Hrothgar, but we were going to try to use the mountain climbing ability of the horse, and we found out that we can get a flying horse. We kind of get a big glitch here. And, yeah, it wasn't going to send us anywhere. And then I accidentally hop over a mountain. And, yeah, now we have to go up the normal way. But eventually we make our way to the Greybeards. We'll end up failing again here because they make us yell at them. They teach us all the words for Fusroda. And immediately we go outside and we have to fail again because we have to go through this wind gate. Then we're going to make our way to get the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Of course, it's not there. We make our way back to Riverwood because Delphine is the one who took it. We had a little run-in with the cultists here, and I must have accidentally hit a townsperson because I was trying to do the cultists, and then everyone started attacking us in Whiterun, and Eivor kind of bashed our brains in. We talked to Delphine, and she tells us she needs to see our power in action, so we go to Salkonir. And this was probably the easiest dragon fight that we did, because dual Icy Storm, which does much more damage, and has a chance to freeze, and has a chance to stun when dual cast, just takes care of him really quick. Then we use our remaining Magicka to just use Frost. And dual casting Frost still does quite a bit of damage because we can cast it almost unlimitedly, so... Delphine believes us, and now she wants to see if the Thalmor have anything to do with it. So we go to the party, and again, I'm pretty sure these are all we're way over leveled for these. So every fight in this embassy is much easier than I thought it should be. We eventually find that they have notes on Esbern, so we make our way through the Ratway to find Esbern, and he wants us to go to Skyhaven Temple, which is near which is through the Karstead ruins. We had already cleared it out earlier, so there wasn't too much to do here. But we solved this simple puzzle, and then we'll eventually make it to the wall of Alduin. And yeah, we get to the blood offering. We offer our blood. The stone begrudgingly takes it, opens us up to Skyhaven Temple. We let Esbern do his thing with Alduin's wall. Now we have to go back to the Greybeards and see what they know about the Elder Scroll. Sorry, about Dragonrend. They teach us the Clear Sky Shout, and we have to yell at the sky to open up so we can go to the throat of the world and meet Parthenax, the leader of the Greybeards. So we again failed to run here. But, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So we did it already. We're going to continue on. And we meet Parthenax, who ends up being a dragon who used to serve under Alduin. So we're at the throat of the world. Here he is. He has us do a conversation with him where we blow fire in his face, failing yet again. He tells us to go to Mzunft, I think, to find the Elder Scroll so we can learn the Dragonrend shout to beat Alduin. Making it through here isn't too bad. I know most people, when they get here, they do the ethereal, become ethereal, and just drop way to the bottom. But obviously, I was trying to not do that. So a little hardcore parkour, and we're almost there. It is kind of unfortunate that couldn't really do this run with only Frostbite. or only ice magic, I should say. But it was my choice to do the Archmage quest and all that. We get the Elder Scroll. We get teleported in time. We learn Dragonrend, and now we have to do our first fight against Alduin. This really wasn't too bad. His meteors didn't really ever hurt us that much, and we could just continuously heal if he did manage to land breath on us. So we just wait for our Dragonrend to regrow, we land him, and then we just blast him with magic. And we just keep blasting him with dual-casted Icy Storm. Eventually we beat him, but he flies away. So we have to capture Odahviing to take us to Skuldafn. We make it to Skuldafn, and at this point I was getting a little bit tired of blasting Draugr and such, so we just run up, we blast the Dragon Priest, go through the portal, then we make our way to Sun, who will let us cross over into Sovngarde. Normally people have issues with this fight, but again, we're doing so much damage, it doesn't even really matter. Sun lets us cross, and we meet the three ancient heroes, and they decide to fight with us. Now, I was under the assumption that to get to Sovngarde, you had to use the Clear Sky Shout, so I did and failed to run that again there, but then it wouldn't have mattered because we also have to use Dragonrend again. So, Dragonrend, and now this fight is much easier than the first Alduin fight. Not that the first one was too difficult for us, but a lot of it's kind of just the same. We use our shout, we blast him with our magic, we either let it regrow or we take potions, which it doesn't look like we have any as of right now, but just keep using Frost. And we just keep going through the same rigmarole. We ground Alduin with Dragonrend again, and we are just going to lay into him. Eventually, our efforts will succeed. Oh, I had to end it with Icy Storm. I see. But we end Alduin, we end the threat to the world, even though we got really close to dying by those meteors. And we did not beat Skyrim as Katara, but we did our best. I think overall I ended with like 70 destruction and 80 enchanting, or 67 enchanting, something along those lines. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys all have a good day. Bye.